Oh wow, that is some timing right there.
Hell yeah, it is.
What?
What do you mean? I've been here the whole time. What are you talking about?
Oh yeah, that's yep. We are live. I did the 30-second countdown like 3 times. I like looped it. I was like, oh, I'm gonna just share this to groups right now.
Hey, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I should just make a longer countdown. Be like, just 1 sec.
12, 12-hour countdown.
Just share it to every group.
That is
We're gonna
amazing.
be talking about. So Todd Rayners will be he will be here. Um, talk about Annabelle, which is his final issue of that series on Kickstarter. What's up? What's up?
Ayo.
We're gonna be talking about Mittens. We hit a really cool stretch goal, and we're gonna talk about that.
I'm so excited.
And we actually hit the thing I put in the update yesterday. Was if we got to 4,250, we would donate some puzzle books to libraries, and we hit that. So
Heck yeah.
we're gonna do that as long as it doesn't fall under that, which hopefully it just goes.
That's awesome.
There's a plushie at stake. Yeah. So people on International Cat Day, people had to comment and like. 4 people listened to my little giveaway rule, and those 4 people are on a wheel that I'm going to be spinning. That's another thing we're going to be doing. Just like what Fish was mentioning. Yeah, so on International Cat Day, which is apparently a thing in August. Thanks to Dylan for letting me know that. We celebrated it we made an update. We hit a stretch goal, I think, around that time. It was for the Polaroid art print of Oath of the Litter, which is a ragtag team that Mittens was once a part of. People will see more of them, as we holidays for everything. Yeah,
I was just thinking that like there's literally holidays for everything.
like every single day there's something.
National Donut Day. National.
There is Donut Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dunkin' Donuts
It's
celebrates that
ridiculous.
in June.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, speaking of Oath of the Litter, you can if you want to see one of those adventures that is in the Treasure of the Catfish, the ash can,
which you can get as an
which
add-on.
we unlocked.
I should probably share the Kickstarter link in the comments, which I'll do there.
That might be a good idea. You got it, or I can do it. He's got it.
You can back Mittens by clicking the link in the comments of this video. Yeah, so we're gonna be doing a few Mittens things, and then we're gonna be talking about to Todd Rayner, and we're just gonna be figuring out our puzzle book because we unlocked that.
Jesus.
We're gonna be because we unlocked that I think yesterday. So
whoops.
Yeah. So we're gonna be donating some puzzle books to like an I Spy kind of book, Mittens related, to libraries because we hit the $4,250 mark today. So that was cool. So yeah.
I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah. I said to Dylan that idea, and he's like, "Oh, that's a really good idea." So yeah, sometimes it's not just air up in there.
Isn't that? I think that's a line that you used in Mittens too.
Oh, really?
I think. Yeah, I think.
Oh no, I just write them.
Mittens. I just write them. Yeah, Mittens complimented, or maybe it's in 3. I don't remember. He compliments Slugger on something, and that's what Slugger says. It's not just hot air up there or something like that.
think I got that from that 70s show. Like Kelso says something like that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, something like that.
That sounds like a Kelso line.
Called Kettlehead all the time.
Wow.
Yeah. So maybe we'll spin the wheel now. Oh, Todd. There's Todd.
Heyo.
Does he hear us? Does he see us? Can you all hear me?
Yep.
See me.
Todd, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Sure. Cool.
All right.
How's it going?
Good.
Should I spin the wheel now, or should we wait a little bit?
Make him wait.
So you can get the ash can, one of the adventures of the litter. It's $5 as an add-on. Just go back Mittens and then choose an add-on. Choose a million add-ons. We have a lot of things, but that's one of the add-ons. You can also get a puzzle book. It's $20. We figured out the printing for it and everything. It's worth $20. I think it's just really cool because I've never done a I Spy kind of book.
So. Yeah, it's gonna be hardcover. It's a good size. So I mean, yeah, it's not just like a mini comic like the other one is.
Yeah. Plus, I liked I Spy books when I was a kid, so it just fits. And I didn't even come up with the idea. Dylan came up with the idea. So.
Thanks.
All
Dylan.
right. And Todd has a Kickstarter that is live called Annabelle.
Yeah, we're trying.
You want to take a look at it?
Yeah, I need the link because
I got you, bro.
I don't have it.
Yeah, it's all good. Give me 1 sec. There we go. We're what, 38 if my math is correct? 32 from funding, so hopefully.
Well, that's gonna happen like now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's get there now.
Yeah, I've been trying to figure out stretch goals. Like when you guys were talking about that puzzle book, I'm like, damn, that sounds really sweet.
Yeah,
I figure that out.
Like, so Dylan, I think because Dylan was in Brazil for like a week. Because his wife is from there. He stole her, but no.
Had her ship here.
He's like, let's go to Brazil, and they like. He got to meet her like whole family, I guess. That's there. Did some cool things, and then I think that's where he saw in a library or something the I Spy book, but there is a Winnie the Pooh one.
Okay.
And that's how he got the actual idea. He's like, oh yeah, this could be like made for anything because there's Where's Waldo and I Spy and all the other kinds of ones. But I really liked I Spy, so but Where's Waldo is cool too.
Yeah, that sounds fun. I have the artist on Annabelle is in Mexico, and then I think, if I'm not mistaken, the inker and colorist are in Brazil.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I had an artist from Brazil for the first Seer Chronicles, like the first printed version. He's not the artist, obviously, anymore. Started buying up weird puzzle books to get ideas for the games and mazes. Oh yeah. I saw
that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, on TikTok of Ultra Comics. I forgot his name, but he bought Fish's book and it like has a maze in it. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
That's so fun.
I didn't ever think of doing a maze, but we do like decoders depending on like the theme of the comic, like ink. We have the Daily Journal, which is our newspaper in the beginning of the Seer Chronicles, and then there's a few other different things depending on if it fits a story. So I'm going to show Todd's. So you're very close to your goal.
Yeah,
This is
we're
I
trying.
think this is the first time I think that you didn't have a goal of 500, and now it's like it's almost funded already.
Yeah. Well, look, I have to blame and give credit to my wife. She's
Mhm.
like, look, you typically do way more than 500, not not in the thousands, obviously, but she's like, there's no reason to rate. You should raise it, and you'll still hit that goal. So, and I've been kind of watching like Matt Campbell, Action Line Studios has a weekly, uh, I don't know, podcast video that they do, and it's just like amazing insight. Like he's been doing it for a while. He's on issue 9 for his book, right? And it's just they'll pick like campaigns and then they'll kind of critique them, And I know it's just one other indie creator, but
Oh.
I'm that kind of guy that wants like as much feedback as possible. Like even you guys, like if there's feedback, like I would take that to heart and say, how can I make my campaign better? You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, I sent in the Mittens link every week since it's been live, and
Yeah, me too.
It almost has gotten picked, but it was like so close. I think the Smurf like wanted it to get picked.
Yeah.
Because one week it was like Turkey Sharks and Mittens was on the wheel together, and he's like, "Oh, that'd be hilarious if like Mittens gets picked." I would have liked it to get picked. And then Ink technically got picked while it was live, but like they didn't remember that they picked it because they didn't write it down. And I was like, "Oh." The reason why I want it to get picked, not because I want them to back it. I don't care if they do that or not. I want them to just see it and like, critique it so I can be like, oh,
that's it. That's all I want.
This is why you're a piece of shit, or this is why this is really cool. And I want them to see
Right.
I want them to see the Mittens trailer, and then they'll be like, wow, so I have to hire Josh for every thing ever.
Do it.
And then he'll be so busy that I can't make any more Mittens stuff, and then John Westoff will cry.
I was about to say, where are you going with this?
Yeah. I mean, that's really what it does because I do all my own videos. I put everything together. Like this is the largest campaign I've ever done. There's 60 plus add-ons, I think.
Wow. So
it's ridiculous.
So when Kickstarter asks, like in a survey, like what can we improve, and that's the one thing that I didn't add.
Copy add-ons,
but it's copying the add-ons because they imported
absolutely.
You could import a reward now.
Yeah,
they should do that with add-ons because that would save so much time.
I was listening to Carissa talk about some stuff, Carissa Grant, and I think she mentioned that too. She's like, why didn't they like that might have been a test phase because it's easier to copy the rewards, however the back end works, than it is to copy your add-ons, right? So I think that might be in the pipeline. I'm fingers crossed hoping that they do that.
I hope so.
But like with this campaign, it made sense. Like this is the 4th issue. It's the final issue of the story arc. It's got all the characters in it, and it's like, why not offer all the prior issues, all the prior covers, all the variants, all the stuff, and that's where all those add-ons come in. And then I had people messaging me like, "Hey, can you do an add-on for the bundles for these covers?" And I'm like, "Shit, okay, yeah, I didn't even think of that. Here's another 9 bundles I put together today."
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, for Mittens, I think I did it maybe for the last campaign, but for this one, I didn't do like a collection of our comics because like I just didn't, and we got like 7 days left now, so or something like that. So,
well, good luck on Friday, then.
But there's like I do that on almost every campaign now because I was on a podcast. I think Fortress Comic News or something like that. Or Fortress of Comics, and they like Mittens and stuff. And then they were like, "Why don't you have that as like all of your comics?" And I was like, "Oh, I didn't think of doing that."
Yeah, there's some spicy covers here, but the bits are covered. and I do that. What's that?
Oh, just go.
No, I was gonna say like I have done some of that. Like if the artist is kind of cool with it, then for this character, the story, I was like, I'll do some other stuff like that, see what it does.
Yeah. Someone said, "Oh, you should do nude Mittens cover or something like that. And I was like, that's
You
weird.
told me that. Yeah, and I was
Yeah.
oh god.
She's like obsessed with Mittens, but I'm just like, oh, that's
I
Is
don't
she a
even-
furry?
I mean,
do you even read the comic?
this is an all ages comic, dang it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I got John Stinsman to do a cover, which I was super excited about. I don't know, just growing up, that was one of the guys that like had a huge influence on my art and everything. So
That's
it was cool to
awesome,
work with
then.
him. Yeah,
That is very exciting.
How many covers do you have?
too many. I have. So there's kind of like 3. Oh, what is that? 3, 6, 8, 10, 11, I think. Yeah.
Wow.
Because what I end up doing is I have like a regular cover,
Mhm.
like a spicy cover, and then a virgin spicy. Like John only had like 2 because I was just like, he didn't really, and I didn't even really ask. I was just too like dumbfounded. I'm like, oh, John, oh, he said yes. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, whatever you want to do, you know? But like some of the other artists like Courtney and who was the other one? Edwin and Sergio, the interior artists, like they've all done kind of covers and stuff. Like this is the first Edwin cover. He's a colorist, but you know, a lot of the other artists are just kind of like, yeah, you know, I'll do whatever. So
Cool. Yeah, we did 7 covers for Ink 2, and then I was like,
Yeah.
wow, I'm not doing that again.
yeah, I'm
It was-
gonna really start to pare it down after this.
It was mostly because it was just different masks, and I
Mhm.
think if it was different covers, it
Yeah.
probably would have been better. But we also did a Virgin, and it was a variant cover on the last Ink campaign, and nobody got it. Well, one person got it, but I was like,
Was
oh.
that the what is that, the foil one?
No, that was for scales.
Scales. Okay.
A lot of people like that.
Yeah, that was sweet.
Yeah,
That was pretty cool.
I like it a lot. I was gonna do a purple one for ink, and I was just like, yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah.
That Kickstarter didn't do as well as I thought I was gonna do. So
It's hard. Like, and that's what Matt says. Like, if you're not kind of growing your Kickstarter project to project or, you know, whatever issue to issue, like, what are you doing wrong? And I'm kind of in that boat, sad to say. Like, I don't know what I'm not a huge marketer. I mean, I do what I can, you know, but I don't know.
yeah,
Well, it's hard to do it all yourself. I mean, like marketing and
Yeah.
creating and like sharing and advertising and talking to people. It's like it's a lot to do, and it's like
Yeah.
my philosophy is you just can't do everything perfectly, so just do what you can the best.
Yep.
But it's like it's still it's exhausting when you run into that, when it's like, oh, is Fish talking about the
I think he was talking about the add-ons and stuff.
add-ons? Yeah.
Mm.
But
Yeah,
I mean,
hopefully.
Virgin spicy.
Yeah. Maybe.
It does sound pretty funny, doesn't it?
Or spicy version. I don't know. Whichever way you want to say it. I think in the add-ons, I did spicy virgin variant or something like that. I don't know.
God.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
But yeah, I came to that philosophy like a while ago with my art when I was doing the first book I did, which was Ice Pick, which I did all by myself, right? Art,
Wow.
writing, the whole 9. And it took like 11 months. And I was just like, "Ah, this kind of looks like it's inconsistent, some of it. Like looking back, it's like, I just did the best I could at that time, right? And you just have to
Exactly.
accept that, right? Whether it's writing or artwork or promotion or marketing, like, I hope to get funded and I'll move on to the trade for this book, you know, and hopefully that gets, you know, that's all you can do.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's
So.
true. It's and it's oh, Fish. No, I mean that is true, and it is like, especially when it's all part of one series. You know, you wish you had the time to sit down and do the whole
Mhm.
thing all at once, so that way it'd be consistent. But I guess that's just the charm of independent creations, is that you're gonna
Yeah.
see growth as the series goes on.
Yeah,
Someone
that's why
agrees.
when I like,
I guess so. What?
that's why when I say I want to remaster this or that, And then there's like Aaron Dowan's like, why? Because he's like he's not like for like remastering things, and I just want, because I'm like, I know this can be a better story. So Seer Chronicles we redid like 3 times, and 3 I think, and it's gonna be redone again, with the artist that will be the artist hopefully for the rest of this one plot arc.
Well, see, and I think there's a little bit of a difference there, because I do agree with the notion of don't get so obsessed with redoing, but
yeah,
in your case you do have different artists redoing it, and if you have a consistent artist that you're going to be having moving forward and they go back and redo it, I could get behind that notion.
Yeah, like, so I was gonna have so Hector was originally going to be the artist for Seer Chronicles for this first plot arc, and it was going to be 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then now he's got things going on in life, and he's not going to be doing that. So after this third one, which it looks amazing, and I'm very surprised I haven't shared art of it yet, because February knocked it out of the park. And Hector, I was like, wow, this looks amazing. And February's like, yeah, because like it's Hector's art. And I was like, that's not just because of that. It's everybody.
It's a team effort.
Yeah. It looks amazing.
But it is, yeah. You showed me some of it. It's looking really good.
I saw it. I was like, wow, okay, this is, yep. And so the inker that's for the 3rd issue, he's hopefully going to be staying on up until the end of this plot arc at least. Hopefully that. Yeah. And then the next plot arc of Seer Chronicles, I'm just going to make it into a graphic novel, because trying to get an artist to just stay was like so difficult for some reason for that series, unlike the other ones that I have.
That's a good point. Like remastering, I kind of like broke my teeth years ago, 10, 12, maybe 13 years ago, doing like digital coloring for a writer down in Kentucky, and like the books we worked on were great, and we published them through like Kablam and everything, and it was kind of under his story, his company and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree, Fish. I mean, but those been sitting on the shelf for like 10 years, and we only did like 1 issue because then the artist left. The other one we did like 2 issues, and then it just fizzled out. We had like 5 different books we were kind of like juggling with this guy, and I really like the stories. I was like, dude, there's some potential here, right? So now I'm like battling, should I, because we're still friends, we still talk and everything, and it's like, should we remaster these? Should I? And my wife is like, why? I'm like, it's a whole new audience. We're talking 10, 12, 13 years later, right? Like the space has really changed from 10, 12 years ago. But it's like, you got to get another artist. And that's another, how many, hundreds or thousands of dollars to get like a team together for a book,
Yeah.
I could see that being the factor that prevents you from continuing.
Yeah.
Because that's expensive.
It is. And so I just focus on my stuff. You know what I mean? Like if he kind of wants to do that, then that's on him, because he's the writer. I mean, it's his creations. I just kind of am facilitating these things, helping him out. I would do covers and stuff like that and probably run the Kickstarters, but it's like,
that's
you need the funds.
One of the other things why Aaron says like, why? And I was like, it's because like, one, the story can be better. Like, so the first version of Seer Chronicles issue 1 was not the full story, because like we just didn't, it was like one of the first comics we were actually making. And so the full story wasn't in there. And then the Luke's version, and Luke Anderson, when he did it, that's more of the story. We could have more, but it was already like 40 something pages, which is insane. And then I'm like, well, I want all the art to be the same for whatever artist is for that arc. So that's why I want to change it. So yeah.
Well, and it's your flagship series. I mean, I could get behind that. Like I did a 5-issue sci-fi series like 7 or 8 years ago, and I'd love to go back and redo it, but that it's like I'm leaving that alone because that was that time, and I've moved on from it, and I'm doing other things now. But if that was my flagship series, I probably would toy with the idea of going back, because it's the one thing that like people are gonna gravitate to if like that's the name of your company, or that's, like I said, your flagship title. That's the one that people are gonna look at, and that you want that to be presentable. You don't want to like that is such a rough feeling of like you show someone something, but then you have to feel like, oh, but that's not the right version, and you have to like
so we
that's
have
such a frustrating feeling.
Like we have the first issue of Seer Chronicles, like the like first version, and like when we go to cons, I was like, are we gonna sell these, or because it's got like the actual dollar amount on them, that all the new ones that we have printed don't have dollar amounts on them. And he's like, we could like, Dylan's like, oh, we could like give away with like another comic, and we never thought of doing like they're there in the bin, and I was just like, it's just there.
It's taking up space.
But like if someone actually looks at it, I was like, oh, that's like our first version, so like don't judge me.
And that's what I'm saying, is that like you don't want to have to do that.
So
or I mean, is it a mindset? Is it like one of those things like you just kind of accept this is what it is, and subsequently it becomes like almost nostalgia, and then it becomes that like kind of charm of it being not great. It's like, it's bad. I get it. I know that because that was our first thing we did, and then you're just like, no, but you got to get through that first issue, and you'll see like all the subsequent issues get better and better.
Carry way too many extra books to shows.
Kind of reminds me. I mean, I don't know if you guys are Star Trek fans at all, but like Star Trek: The Next Generation, first couple seasons was a rough patch, but they got through it, and it's really good. So like that kind of aspect, I could agree with that notion as well. So I think it's a case by case situation.
How I get people to tables at cons is, do you like cats? And then that brings most people to the table. And then I'm like, hey, we also have superheroes. And they're like, oh. And then they gravitate towards like Chronicles of Horror. And they're like, oh, is this free? And I'm like, what? No. Like I made this.
These are questions you don't ask at a
There's a kid that like was talking for a while to us. And then he went to go grab like one of the trading cards for the second issue. And I was like, that is like 50 cents. And he's like, oh.
Yeah.
And I was like, Dylan's not here. Just take it. He like went to the bathroom or something. I was like, yeah. And then he came back. I was like, oh, I just gave a trading card to someone. He's like, what the
why? He can't leave you alone.
People like free stuff.
Yeah, they do.
But he's like, oh, he probably was just like, oh, I like talked to you enough. And I was like, no, that's not how that works.
I talked to you enough, therefore give me something for free.
Exactly. I was like, oh, with that. Oh, yeah. But Ink 1 is being remastered because Adam has improved since the first issue. And it's going to be a trade. So, like, it's, yeah.
So the new remastered parts will only be in the trade?
Yeah.
Or you okay.
Yeah. And there's a little more story. So, yeah. That's really all that's in the trade. Well, there's going to be other stuff, but in the Ink trade, there's going to be the new version of issue 1, which just it connects things better. And there's the place that he originally was going to was Japan, but then we came up with like a whole alternate Earth and stuff. And I was like, oh, well, now he's going to this place because it's not Japan. So there's some lettering changes and stuff like that, but there's like 6 new pages. So
oh wow.
Yeah.
So that's gonna definitely be like a big old, that's a remaster and an expansion.
Yeah. I don't know, it'd be kind of weird. I'm gonna date myself a little, but like I couldn't there was the G.I. Joe Kickstarter that had like every single issue, and obviously I had to back that because G.I. Joe was like the first comic. Like that was literally the comics that got me into comics, was the very early 80s G.I. Joe issues. But it would be weird, like in that Kickstarter if they had like Todd McFarlane, because he did an issue like issue 60 of GI Joe. If like they had him redraw that entire issue, you know, because it's really rough. It's like what I think one of his first Marvel works was
Oh.
GI Joe, and it looks like 80s artwork. We're talking like late 80s, mid late 80s, right? It's bubbly, balloony kind of characters and artwork, but it still kind of looks like McFarlane. Yeah, exactly. But it would be weird to see him like see that issue redrawn with like how McFarlane draws today. You know what I mean?
That is true. That would be really weird,
Yeah.
honestly.
It's a fine line. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
at what point do you kind of pull that trigger?
Yeah. Yeah, I promise not to remaster everything that I do. It's just
I think it's good to draw that line of when to stop.
like Mittens doesn't need anything. It's just more of
that wouldn't get a.
No, it's just like if anything, we add more to something. But
yeah. I mean, and that's the funny thing though is that like from 1 to 3, Mittens has changed artistically quite a bit. But like I do agree that like you wouldn't need to remaster it or anything because like I think it's exactly what it needs to be.
Yeah.
Just like a silly little sci-fi cat comic. Like it doesn't need that like rebranding or anything.
So I'm gonna spin this wheel.
Is it wheel time?
Yeah, it's wheel time.
It's wheel time. Can you
I might have to get
show
one of those wheels?
I just heard a writer talk about updating your novel because teens don't use Facebook anymore.
That's actually very true.
Huh. Okay. What does the novel have to do with Facebook, though?
Oh, I think it's like
Not sure.
the notion of like in a movie when kids are talking about like MySpace or something. And how that's like considered outdated.
Yeah.
I imagine it's like that kind of notion.
Okay. That makes sense. All right.
So what is this wheel? Is it like something
just
you
names.
found online or?
Oh yeah, like I
Gotcha.
think I did it on our virtual expo. I used the same,
yeah,
literally the exact same website. I just typed in like wheel spinner thing and spin a wheel, and then it just popped up. So yeah, so we got 4 names.
Wheel of whatever, spin and spin.
We're gonna figure out who's the winner.
Oh man.
Oh.
Toby.
Okay.
Toby Z.
So Toby is the winner of the Mittens plushie. So I have to remember
Toby.
that. Yeah. So if Toby is watching, then you won.
So what does Toby have to do to claim that prize? Is he just like is this like a
literally nothing? Just make sure that you still are backing the project by the time that it's over, and then I will send you the Mittens plushie when I get the other plushies.
Wonderful.
Because she's still making all of Griff. There's like 6 of those, and then I'm getting 10 of Mittens.
Oh my gosh!
And one of those is going to Toby.
Very cool. So yeah, sorry, Fish. I'm sure it happens all the time.
Now I can actually have one on like a con table or maybe a few, and then actually sell them.
Heck yeah.
So,
yeah. It's so I've had some plushies made of like just this little ghost character that we have in one of our books, and at our con table, it was like 3 cons in a row. People would pick it up and be like, "Oh, it's super cute," and then not buy it. And then one con, we sold like I don't know, like 7 or 8 of them. It was like,
nice.
What is happening? Yeah. Like it's so inconsistent with plushies. It's like wild.
Yeah, we were at Saratoga Comic Con. We were right next to like that's all they sold were like plushies, and
like a big
Pokemon characters and stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, good thing we don't have like plushies here.
Yeah, because there'd be no way you'd sell one.
I'm gonna play our trailer because it's cool. I can't wait for the trade trailer because this one's already cool. All right. So
Da-da-da. Unused vote become. Oh my god. That's a really good joke. I hate it.
use boat pickup things.
That's amazing. I'm excited for the one of the tiers is the flash drive.
Yeah.
And I'm planning on putting together like a little behind the scenes on how I put that trailer together, and that will be on the flash drive. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Which is funny.
Yeah, I was gonna ask Jared, you did the trailer for that?
I did. Yep.
Very nice. Yeah,
Thank you.
There's like it's cool because it's got like Ken Burnsy stuff, but then it's got like actual animation.
It's there. I tried to explore that a little bit more because it like the actual animation parts definitely take the most time. So if I can like minimize that as much as possible, just purely from a budget time frame.
Yeah.
Exactly. We don't have the time or money to put together like a fully animated experience yet. Hopefully,
I don't know, that was pretty close.
I feel pretty good about it. I think it's. Thank you so much. It's a really good blend of like utilizing like pacing a little bit, where it's like I'll throw in those little animated elements every once in a while to keep the viewer engaged. Because if everything was just like panning shots and zooms and like that's it would really start to like I think it would kind of lose its quality. But doing a few. I actually rotoscoped the finger. Like it was my own hand that I filmed, and I rotoscoped it.
That's cool.
Just to give it a little bit of realism, but it was a lot of fun. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I think so. I think that like that when I was putting together the kind of the animatic how the storyboard essentially and how I was going to do it, I noticed that it was like the original one I came up with was like way too much of that like real static like boring shots, and once I was like realized that I needed to do something a little bit more, it really came to life. So I'm pretty excited.
No, that's super cool. I mean, I end up doing all my videos myself, so it's kind of like, I mean, I know After Effects and all that fun stuff. Like I could go like crazy with it, but time and kind of like being able to put something like that together. But yeah, that was fun.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I use Photoshop for a lot of the frame by frame, and then I use After Effects for the compositing. So it's a nice workflow, and it works for what I need it for.
Yeah.
And I paid for it. that's what I.
Well done.
That's well
done.
I was gonna say, good work, Greg. That you're supporting artists out here.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, these are your characters and these are your ideas. So.
Yeah.
But I think the artwork kind of lends for how you handled that trailer. Like if you were to do like super comic book art, like something that's way more rendered, more line work, I think it would be kind of harder. Well, it would just be more difficult to animate something like that, you know.
It lends itself to looking like almost like a cartoon and that
Yeah.
simplicity of animation. I mean, these characters are, I mean, if you really look at them, I'm using just basic shapes for the characters. Like they're very blocky, very circles and squares and rectangles. Like it lends itself, you're right, to that animated look. And so that's where I think that I get pretty lucky, because if I was to animate something that was more like superhero rendered, I mean, God, that would just take me probably about 5 times as long for like the same quality of, you know, trailer for the same length. Like, oh my gosh, that would be, that would take so long. So
how long was that? Was that like a minute, 10 minutes, something like that?
It was like a minute.
Something like that. Yeah.
Minute and 21 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's tough. I try to stick around the minute 10 for my Kickstarter trailers, because it's like you get in, you tell them what this issue is kind of about, or like you get that hook, right? Like this is what happened maybe in a prior issue with a line like, oh, this happened. And then it's like, oh, how are they going to overcome that, right? And you use imagery from the issue and you're done, you know? And it's like, okay, go scroll down and look for more.
Yeah. It's sweetened to the point. Yeah. Because we used to do the trailers where it would be a little animated thing, and then there would be, you know, 3 minutes of somebody talking. And I think over the years we've realized just how much people don't care about that.
Really? Yeah, it's just ineffective.
It is. It really is. It's I don't even know really who that's for at this point. And like anybody who's new to it is just going to want to see the, you know, less than 60 seconds of whatever, like you said, like some sort of animated thing or some sort of informational thing, and then they're going to scroll down and, you know. So
the last few videos I haven't talked in a video because I don't like doing it myself.
No.
But
I think it saves, because I mean I'll do it, but like it really is, in my opinion, at this point a waste of time, because like people just don't care at all.
Like
and that's different. Like, go ahead.
Chronicles of Horror 2, that video, there's the animation thing, which Josh did. Pretty sure Josh did. Yep. And then we have Hector talking, because, you know, he's more interesting. So he was talking at the end of it, and that was like okay, but like just the animation part is like I thought was cool.
Well, it was way more attention grabbing.
Yeah.
So.
And I was gonna say, like, that's the difference with between being at a convention or doing like Kickstarters, where people want to meet you at conventions. They want to sit, you know, hypothetically sit down and chat with you for a little while. But I did that for my early Kickstarters, where I would talk and like, hey, I'm the creator, blah, blah. And it's like, whatever, just get on with it, you know?
Get on.
And then I came up with like a cool fire effect for Annabelle, and like that's been the thing that I use. Oh, you watched the trailer?
I was watching it. Yeah, I didn't have the audio. Actually, Greg, do you want to pull it up? I'm kind of curious. I didn't watch it with any audio because I didn't want to blow.
Oh, I don't do any voiceovers.
Oh, gotcha. Is it just music?
It's music and very kind of similar, not animation, but you know, similar.
Yeah, and graphic effects. perfect. Yeah, I see what you mean. It's to the point. It's concise. It shows off the
I
artwork.
try.
That shot of that like main shot you're using of like the orb with the dragon fire, is so cool.
Yeah. It's so sick. And like I saw when that page came in, because I think it's issue pages 2 and 3, and we had more pages like that were inked in, and I kind of reached out to the color. So I was like, Edwin, can you please color this page first? This is going to be like the Kickstarter cover. Like this is just too awesome to not showcase it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, and I really love the color, like the outfits of the characters, like each one of them having a slightly different color, and like it's sharp. The colors on it look really great. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I do. So I'm a designer for production artist / designer, and it's like I've been doing graphic design for too long, and so like, I keep that in mind. Like color is an important thing, and when you're doing design work or just comics in general, like what are some of the characters, like the ones that stand out that we remember? They have bright, vibrant colors.
I could tell there was. I mean, when I saw it, I was like, oh man, you're putting thought into that, making sure that each character is identifiable and memorable. And yeah, I could tell. Like, I think it looks great, man. That's so cool.
Yeah,
thanks.
That's good.
Thanks. Yeah.
I don't normally watch the trailers on people's Kickstarters because most of the time I just back them because I know the people. But yeah.
I always love watching trailers. I'm just always so curious to see what people's approach is.
Yeah, I like Lori Calcaterra's trailers because they're hilarious. But yeah, yours was good.
Thanks.
We actually try to have somebody else make a trailer like that for Ink 3. We only had 6 pages to work with at the time, and the guy that was going to do it didn't do it because he found out that it was really hard to do.
Yeah,
because he doesn't like, he does like video editing and all stuff like for a lot of people that are like, it's pretty good. But he couldn't do like a comic book trailer because he doesn't know the story. He didn't know. And then like we even gave him like PDFs of 1 and 2. Be like, read this and then like just figure it out.
Yeah.
And Dylan was like even helping him enough, like here's the script and like you go through all this. It just wasn't working for him. And then Dylan ended up doing the trailer, and we had the trailer way after I wanted the trailer. So yeah.
It's funny, after watching Matt's show for the last several weeks, it's like when they watch these trailers, some of them are really rough. Like they are, like, not to criticize, but they're just like rough. The sound is just blown out, or like certain things, and then you don't know what's going on with the story, or someone's talking, and you're like, I don't want to do that,
because like it says like what's happening.
Yeah. Thanks. I try.
Well, and that I feel like that's a really good point about audio, is that I think audio is like the one thing that I always see people having a hard time making look good, is that take that however you want it, interpreting the way like to balance audio and make it sound good. It's tough, but I think it's the one thing, like it's kind of like when people are making comics and they the last thing they worry about is the lettering, and it's very obvious, and the lettering just might not look as good. It's kind of what that reminds me of, is that they don't put the time they need to for audio. And honestly, like that's the one thing that I think will turn me off of the video. Like if the audio is bad, I'd shut it off, like, or I mute it. It's rough.
Sometimes
I agree.
Go.
No, go please.
Oh, it's just some people's trailers, when I actually watch them, they're it's like really low or it's really high. It's not like in between, and then there's like you don't know what's going on because you're more focused on like I can't hear what they're saying because there's either the music is too loud or something else. So
well, and that's I would say that's the benefit of kind of working in like the right programs. You know what I mean? Like that. Look, my situation is definitely not everyone's situation, right? So everyone kind of has different software that they work with. but I mean, I use Adobe stuff, so I use it in my day job. I've done it for decades, you know, in college and even whatnot. But it's like there's audio levels there. You can see them. I'm using royalty-free music, so I know it's professionally mixed. I don't got to worry about mixing it. There's plenty of free royalty music out there, you know, that's properly balanced. And that's where I'm just like, I don't need to think about that. Like I pick a good song, I'm like, oh, that's sweet. Okay, let's use that, you know. And getting the timing right. I don't think a lot of people realize that there's timing with it, like the imagery, the words with the music, you know.
I noticed
So
that with yours immediately, that you had it right on time, and it was so satisfying.
Yeah,
because you know that next beat's coming. You're like, something's going to be showing up. Like
it's anticipation. You're making the viewer anticipate what's going to happen next, which is like you got them at that point.
Hopefully we'll get up to what Mittens is doing.
One day. Cats are. We tapped into a whole audience that I never anticipated. Oh man. But no, it's like
we have
Oh, go ahead, Todd.
Yeah, go ahead. No.
I was just going to mention with the audio balancing, I had worked for a company, an advertising company that we did local TV commercials, and I would do the editing, and I learned a lot on that. We would use Adobe, programs, and I learned a lot about how to make that final, like those audio cues and everything, make sure everything's balanced, and without that job, I would not have the skill set I think I do now of how to pay attention, because like my whole thing is like when I'm done with a video, I sit there and watch it 24 times. And just like if I feel weird about any of it, I write it down, and like after doing that, then I go back through. I'm like, okay, why does this feel weird? Is it the audio? Is it the video? Like what's going on? And I think that round of like editing, not everybody's going to be doing when they're putting their own videos together, because they just might not think to do it, that they don't have the experience. So it goes a long way.
Yeah.
Right. Volume's tough. I mean, it's and you could mess. Oh my God, you can mess with volume for an hour and still not be right. So it is a pain in the ass.
I mostly make videos in just Canva, because I did use like Premiere and stuff because Josh let me use it, but then I stopped doing that because we haven't been doing our podcast. And I like making teasers and stuff for like comics coming up or whatever. And I try to use like royalty free music, or like if you can put music on like a post on Instagram, I try to make it match, because you could scroll through like a certain section of the song.
I don't
try to make it match. And actually, most of the time when I pick a song, it actually means a thing to me on why I'm picking that song for that post. It's not just because I like the song. It's because that it fits the theme of whatever the story is. But like nobody really knows that. It's just me. So.
It's that extra layer of creativity. Yeah, we do now. I mean, honestly, if you're whatever program you're using, it's like a good rule of thumb is like whatever the audio meter is, like don't go above 3/4 on like whenever it's making sound. Like it's if like the loudest part of your video is not getting above 3/4, and then the quietest is like not below like half, it's like usually that's the sweet spot. It's something I always pay attention to.
That's cool. I didn't know.
And like we have 2 cats, and my wife is always like, you should somehow do like memes or posts with the cats reading your book, because people love cats. And I'm just like, I mean, she's the photographer. I'm just gonna say, like, you're the one that should be like photographing this here. I don't have time to do like a set photo.
That's actually what Dylan said. He said that, like, I think at our last con or something. He's like, like you should do TikToks or something and just have your cats in it. And I was like, they have to like be next to each other, and then I have to like figure out what I'm going to make them do. Like the TikToks or videos of like the cat is being like voiced over by somebody like, and I still don't have any water in the water bowl. They just don't care about me. Like things like that, and then somehow connected to Mittens at some point. I was like, I don't know.
And you'd have like 1 million subscribers on TikTok.
Right. Like I mean,
I'll get a
I
cat.
I love the idea. But yeah, like I don't even know how I would begin to try to do something like that.
I just post
No.
memes and try to see if they work. Like
Exactly. I
like
barely
I
do
did.
memes.
Yeah, like the last one was an excited cat, and it's like the face that me and Josh made when we figured out like the next set of stretch goals or whatever, which I'll get to in a
That
second.
works.
Tried using our dog in videos when he was a cute puppy. Little turd was scared.
Are you kidding me? That's amazing.
Yeah. Our one cat is definitely food driven, so I could put like some little kibbles on the. he would just come running up to it.
That's the way to do it. You gotta. I mean, it's like how they used to train animals in movies. Like,
Yeah.
that's how you do it.
Yeah.
Speaking of our other stretch goals, we did hit the puzzle book, so that's
Nice.
we are halfway to getting the coloring book unlocked, which is really cool. I've never done a coloring book before, so that would be pretty cool. And then
Yeah.
6,000 is the next comic that we'll be coming out with. That's not the trade of Mittens. It's it's a one-shot comic of a certain character. If you can tell by the silhouette.
I made it obvious,
Griff.
but not obvious enough. I don't know what you're talking about.
Mhm.
And that's already written, and it's been edited. So now it has to be drawn. And then at 8,000, we got hyped. I hyped Josh up to the point of like, oh well,
You
now I
totally
want that.
did.
So it's a pilot episode, like an animated pilot episode of like Mittens, because my
Amazing.
dad told me that my cousins or whatever saw Mittens, like the comic. They're like, oh, like they know people in Hollywood or something. He's like, oh, that could literally be an animated show one day. I was like, that'd be cool, but like, let's see if we could like just make it first.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah,
That'd be awesome.
and if we don't hit that, it'd probably be the stretch goals on the next Kickstarter. But anyway,
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. we save them. Save them for the next one.
depending
Is
on
the coloring book like the full Mittens issue, or is it just like certain pages,
that,
or is it like all different?
we
Or am
just
I
throw it-
spoiling something here?
we just
No,
throw
no.
ideas out and then we figure it out later.
I mean, well, that's a little true. Yeah, I mean, my thought process was definitely probably just like the full book, the full issue 3, but
Mhm.
just coloring book version. Just black and white
Yeah.
line art, and then you could color it. But I was like, but maybe we could do where it's like we take certain scenes from all 3 books and like make it more of a
Oh,
montage collage kind of coloring book.
yeah.
I don't know, because I have done that in the past with one of my other stories, Astronaut High Schooler. We did a coloring book version of issue 2, and that was cool. But I was like, it really made me want to make like an actual like coloring book with like new or independent drawings rather than just the version of the comic. So
Yeah.
well, that's cool. But yeah, he's gonna be kind of busy with the puzzle book because
yeah, that's gonna be time consuming.
it's like
Is that like a legit puzzle?
so it's have you ever, I don't know, have you ever like done Where's Waldo, like
Yeah.
look through Where's Waldo?
gonna be
So
like
it'll be
that.
like that. So we'll have like
Okay.
there'll be 12 double page spreads, and then it'll be like we'll be on the hauler, which is Mitten's ship, and it'll be like,
Mhm.
oh, find the tuna sandwich, and then it'll be like items in a box, just like I Spy.
Okay.
So it'll be like, find the tuna sandwich, and it'll be like the fridge door will be open or something, and then
Right,
I
right.
found it, and then
Oh, but I'm gonna
it'll
have
be
a lot of fun with like there's gonna be like a monster head or something, or the head of a monster in the fridge or something. I
Yeah.
don't know. I think I'm gonna go
That's
crazy.
a cool
with it.
idea. That's a really
Yeah.
cool idea.
Isn't
I
that
might have to swipe that one there.
Yeah,
well,
that was,
now you said the head in the fridge thing. I kind of want to do like a puzzle book for like Chronicles of Horror.
Oh my god.
But it's just
That would be fun.
find the murder, and then
Yeah.
oh, that's right there.
Kind of a tongue-in-cheek like murder, but like puzzle book. Oh my god, that's so stupid. I love it.
Yeah, you
it's-
could just
it's-
find like any random images, right? I mean, you could just really put together anything that's royalty free of a crowd, stock photos, you know, whatever.
Yeah, for I Spy they did, which I didn't know, but I was a kid, so I didn't really look into it until when I was looking at ideas. They took pictures, like actually like had photographers take pictures of like a certain room.
Oh wow!
Like I remember one, which is crazy because I'm 33, but I remember it like from elementary school. It's like they're in a classroom. It's just a classroom, and it's like a chalkboard and stuff is on the on the wall and stuff. It's like find the ball and the bike and stuff like that. And they took a picture of all those items, and then they're like, oh, they just put those items in a box.
If I remember correctly, I think it was like a husband and wife that came up with it, and they were just like photographing a whole bunch of random stuff, and then they decided to like turn it into a book, and then it kind of took off, something like that.
It definitely took off because there's like so many different versions.
Oh my god, there's like hundreds of I Spy books now.
A gazillion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, maybe dozens, not hundreds, but it's the same thing. But yeah, I had a cool idea where, because like we were talking like we want to vary it up, so we don't want just like a dozen shots of just like a crowded tool bench or something, but like I was thinking of having like one really cool shot of like Mittens hiding somewhere in like a busy city, like sci-fi city street, and there's a bunch of like animal characters, and you have to like find him, maybe find like his team or something or whatever. Like I think it's really fun to vary up the shots that we'd be doing.
Right.
Yeah. It'd be cool on the flash drive. Well, I don't even know how many people actually backed the flash drive tier, but if you got like, if you made a puzzle book page just for that, and like
exclusive,
and it would just be like Oath of the Litter or something, and then
that'd be pretty cool.
That's it. Just I don't know how many people actually got that tier, because on the first Mittens campaign, like 20 people got that tier. And for some reason,
I don't know why that one blew up. We had to make a stretch goal for like another set of like flash drive tier availability. It was insane. I couldn't believe how many people wanted it.
It was limited to 10, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I'm like, oh, well, that did well, so this one will probably do well. But for some reason, it didn't do as well. And
just the lightning in a bottle. Hard to replicate.
Yeah. And I put coupons that actually work for our web store, but nobody used them. Like I was like, oh, you could like get stuff basically for free if you just type this code in, and like nobody did. And I was like, okay.
Interesting.
Looks like one person so far has backed the flash drive this time around.
All right. Well,
that one person's going to get some pretty cool stuff.
Yeah. All right, fellas. I think I'm going to head out here. It's been fun chatting. Nice meeting you. I don't think I've ever met
Todd. I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
We might have in passing, but I don't know if we have. So it was great talking with you.
Okay. Nice chatting with you. I did see like a pledge come in. I don't know if that was you, but if it was,
that was me.
Yeah, that was him.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh heck yeah! No, I was excited to see that you had the digital of all of the books, because I at this point I'm just getting digital these days, and because it starts to add up. Not necessarily financially, but like the shelf starts to add up. I have so many indie books.
My closet behind me over here is like filled with comic boxes. It's ridiculous.
Oh my gosh!
I get it.
Oh, it's rough.
I got four in the garage. So.
Oh my god. No, I was excited. Like I said, I was looking. I was like, oh man. I was hoping you were gonna have like a catch up, tier, so I could read all of them.
I tried.
So that was. I love that you did. I was like, if you didn't, I was gonna say something, but you did. I would have been surprised by the fourth one. You wouldn't have had that. I would have been surprised.
Yeah, nice. Oh, cool. Well, yeah.
Okay.
But if we're not friends, hit me up, and hopefully, good luck on the campaign, and
thank you.
Hit that 8,000, bro. Hit it. Like,
let's try, man. We have a week left.
Yeah, you can retire, and then you can just be financially like wealthy forever.
you
on
go.
$8,000.
Yes.
Oh man.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah. Have a good night.
All right.
Yeah.
That's so
So,
funny.
Um,
Independently wealthy off $8,000. Let's do it.
crazy. I can't wait for like the day that we pass 5,000 something, like whatever the biggest, which was like Mittens one.
Mittens won. We still haven't quite hit that
Yeah,
again, but
because it just shocked people. Like, oh, cats.
it was
Safe.
just so unique. Yeah.
So like now I gotta come up with another idea. Unless if people like pandas a lot, but
Hey, I
we'll
mean,
find out.
I could see that. I could see that. Yeah, it was 5,400 was the first 240 backers. That just blows my mind, man.
Yeah, that was a lot of packages to do. It was a lot
True.
of
Yeah,
physical
you
packages,
experienced
too.
it firsthand.
Yeah, I'm glad that I had my dining room table at that moment.
Yeah. Let's see. The second one was 179 backers at 4,300. So we are actually doing very well with this one, with issue 3 right now.
Yeah,
I'm excited to try to hit 100 backers or more.
yeah. Like if we get that burst at the end, that would be great.
That'd be awesome.
But I think we're gonna end it here.
Cool.
Make sure to back Mittens, which it's in the comments. I might post it again just because it's buried.
And if you have backed it, we have a lot of new add-ons: art print, mini comic ashcan, and the puzzle book. So
yeah,
if you're interested, hop back over there and grab them.
There's the Polaroid, which that's pretty cool. Yeah, puzzle book is like one of my favorite things. So
oh, it's gonna be great. I am so excited to start working on it.
So thanks for those that were watching and are watching. And if you did back Mittens, go back it. Peace.